Watching the absolutely no, there's nothing online that way. We were getting into a direct feed with of course courtesy of Patty, former Sergeant Patty Briscard. There was actually quite a few. I'm just trying to see if I could screen share last night, because it was actually quite huge what was going on. And last night as things were blowing up, so CERN and Atlas and Alice and all that interesting stuff was basically there's a breach of containment, I guess in simple terms. And what we see when you see this kind of circle here around the CERN in the center, you know, they're smashed, you know, obviously the colliders, and anyone can go look up CERN and the shape of the thing and what's going on there. But they're actually tied into what I found even here, like the University of Saskatchewan, where I am in Saskatoon today, is that all these light sources are basically mini synchrotrons, which are basically mini CERNs. So they were all tied in together. So the applications, and probably, I know there was over 100 sites that I found when I was tracking here alone. But these were some of the different projections. And again, they've had almost like a nuclear meltdown, I guess, for most people in a similar way. But last night, CERN is actually located, you know, just in here for the Google Earth. We were actually going over everything, looking at what the city was doing. These are sometimes potential, what you'll see, like deep underground military bases. They're on the periphery, you know, accessing all those access points. And it was actually the potential for this, you know, like I said, it's like going into a nuclear holocaust. One of the very strange things that we did notice here was there was some sort of a geyser that started up here. You know, and again, these things aren't being reported, what's going on. So Patty was able to, I mean, these are just a few of the things they were showing me. You know, there's the Atlas experiment. You know, is it starting to look like, you know, as they think, the God particle smashing up? You know, it has remnants and ramifications, but you can actually see where they blew containments here. And last night, what it looked like at one point, there was one of their younger people or whatever, someone watching the computer room or the screens, and at one point left and obviously didn't know what to do and was gone for quite a long time. You know, so when you think of, you know, this is like, you know, the football, like, you know, ready to detonate something and really hardly any backup or whatever. And then it looks like all the screens we could actually see into the actual room itself, the control room at one point. And you could see a lot of the screens were actually blank. So, I mean, obviously they knew something was going down and really didn't look after it. But, I mean, this is tragic. So this is actually what we were doing at 3 in the morning here. Yeah, I'll send them definitely as a PDF, because people would really like to see what this stuff looks like, you know, up here. No, it was actually quite a bit was going on. So when these things start going, you know, I was so thankful to have Dan and Patty, like, you know, kind of guiding me through it. Patty knows absolutely, and you know, it's like Mensa beyond, right? And so just the amount of intensity, what was going on, we were watching just, again, the geyser that went up, I mean, in here, and all the webcams that these guys can bring up.
Yeah.
I mean, Patty, the military, you know, just a hint here, this is just some of the, they could see, you know, what was going up with the beam setups here. The injection particles, this is at 0.5, you know, into here, your beam energies. And again, people walking into this kind of thing, and I'll just show you, this is like getting fried at a micro level here. You know, this should not be going, this is just what I call basically act of war and act of terrorism here. You know, when you get a breach of containment, you can actually see part of the inside of the Hadron Collider here is breaking down. And I'll actually show you where they actually had, in fact, they blew a hole that was so big, they figured it was probably 12 by 24 feet. And I do have to show you, you know, this is one of the first pictures Patty kind of went, is that a sailboat? I don't think so. You know, and then we got another cam shot from webcam, and we noticed these were some sort of a geyser going up. But more importantly, you'll probably like this, as we think we spotted a UFO last night that was sitting right over top, hovering here. And this is it. So this is a shot that was taken, Miles, and that's no cloud there. Whatever it is, it's some sort of a light cylindrical disc, and it hovered there for quite some time. So I don't know if it's maybe unidentified to us. I'm sure it could be, an identified flying craft, whatever it is, or saucer or object here. But you could definitely see it. There was only a couple of cars in the parking lot last night. So we actually watched this hover there for a while, on and off, and then it just disappeared. So obviously, we'll just say there was some big help, that came in to see what was going on. I was kind of in between that and looking at all the crisis actors at Paris and, Sandy Hook and what was going on in here. So, I mean, we were having quite the amusement. Again, these were some more breaches in here, and these are actually holes being blown through the collider. And I really wish I had Patty's expertise, but as people have seen some of these collider pictures, there's so much to look at. It's like where to start. But I will show you probably one of the most profound things in it. This is the one here to me. Now, we watched it over a period of time, probably, I think I was getting ready at Zava's African cuisine because I'm prepping for my raw food. Tomorrow, too bad you're going to miss all the raw chocolate and all that kind of great stuff. But what's going to happen here is that these yellow ones, again, they were starting to get breached. Now, what happens when Alice kind of burned a hole? There was oxygen in there, and what it started burning was, according to Patty, copper and stuff. And it turned into a huge fire incineration in there. And this hole that they figured there, where you see and well, apparently it's a 12 by 25, and it's breached the first layer and then the second layer. And at one point, it looked like the computers all went down, which also potentially took out the AI computer. And so they were very happy about this, but unfortunately, apparently, it looked like it may have went back online. So what Patty was counting up here, we had at least 10 breaches in the wall. And there's some other ones. There were 16 in this blue cylinder. So it's gone through the inside cylinder and already exited through into the next layer. So just to give people kind of a trajectory of it, this is what the collider looks like. And there's a little guy sitting on the yellow little scaffolding down there. So you can see when something breaches through and it blew a hole through something. It's like having a nuclear meltdown, basically. So these were all started. I mean, we looked at these over, probably a succession of about 6-8 hours last night. And I started posting a lot of these up on Facebook myself. And it was interesting because at some point there was a note from Facebook saying that my page on Facebook could be shut down. So it was like, did this get a little touchy with someone last night? I don't know. Anyway, so we'll see. Apparently Facebook is still there today, so that's great. I really did send a letter to Mark Zuckerberg, so it should be there somewhere. But yeah, I'd be happy to cut and paste. I took shots of these last night.
We'll send those out and get this processing.
Yes, yeah.
The urgent priority.
This is of extreme magnitude. People have to know what the effects are of these things.